Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. So as you guys probably have noticed, I've started doing this new series on shop tours, and I've been doing some traveling the last couple of weeks. I'm up here in Chicago, or outside Crystal Lake, Illinois, outside of the Chicago area, and I've been visiting with my friend Jeff Heath here, who lives up here, and we thought, hey, what the heck, we're going to do a shop tour. He's got a pretty cool shop here, so we're in his shop, and Jeff actually does a little bit of both woodworking and metalworking. And anyway, I'm going to let Jeff kind of tell you about what he does, and we're going to do a quick shop tour and show you what's going on here. So Jeff, tell them about what all you do.
All right, thanks Keith. My name's Jeff Heath, and I'm a woodworker. I do a little bit of metalworking as it leads into the woodworking end, and also machine restoration, because I like to do that a lot as well. But I've been a furniture and cabinet maker for about 30 years, and in the last few years I started making hand planes as well, wooden planes. And my focus has been predominantly on that lately. As it's been growing and growing, I've been doing a little bit less of the cabinet work and more of the plane making.
Cool, cool. And these are some of your planes you've made here?
Yep, some of the planes. I started out making the, you know, what they call sort of the Cranovian style planes, which are laminated planes. And then I also wanted to start making traditional planes, which are made out of solid billets of wood, and more in the traditional style. So I sort of make them both ways. And I've had a lot of positive feedback on both styles of planes, you know.
Cool.
The critical part is they work.
And you make like the hollows and rounds and molding planes and things like that?
Hollows and rounds. Not so much molding planes, but the hollows and rounds.
Okay.
I haven't really focused on individual molding planes, but more on the hollows and rounds to make moldings for short runs and stuff like that.
Cool.
Maybe someday.
Cool, yeah. Makes a really, really nice hand plane guide. Guys, I played around with these. I love hand planes. And these are, I mean, you know, they're nice. He does a really good job. And you get to use both some of your metalworking and woodworking with these too, I guess.
You bet, absolutely.
Good deal. Well, tell me about your bench here. This is kind of neat.
Well, this is actually version 4 over my long career. This was the last bench that I made. It's a robot style bench, however you pronounce it, robot. And I was really looking for a bench that was really fitted more towards hand tool work, and this just does it for me. It's long, it's 8 feet long, it's 24 inches wide. I'm a very, very, very big fan of Jamil's bench crafted vices, and I've got a leg vise and a tail vise from them, a wagon vise, and they just really suit my needs well. And it's a nice heavy bench. It probably weighs somewhere in the neighborhood to 600 to 700 pounds.
Yeah.
It's a 5-inch thick maple top that I laminated together out of scraps. And you know, use what you have.
Absolutely.
And this bench does not move, and that's what I need from it. Is when I'm doing hand planing and sawing and all the rest, absolutely no movement at all. So I've been very happy with it.
Okay, I'll tell you what, let's take a tour of the shop, and just because it's kind of over in this corner, it's a good place to start. We're going to kind of start in the machine shop area and then work around to some of the woodworking stuff, okay?
You bet.
All right. So Jeff is in the Monarch Club.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I've been to several shops, and Monarch seem to be pretty standard staple, and I'm a fan of Monarch. I got a Monarch myself. I haven't got it running yet, but I can't wait to. But yeah, so what you got here?
This is a 1957 Series 61 Monarch. It's 18.5 by 54 inch between the centers, and just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful machine. I feel real fortunate to be the custodian of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, Monarch made some absolutely nice, really nice machines, and this one definitely falls in that category. And it's a nice, you know, I love the looks of those 1940s machines, and you know, that's kind of where my heart's at. But quite honestly, you know, these 50s and 60s machines have got a few nice features in them.
Yeah,
they're definitely worth having. So
certainly do.
Absolutely. So cool. Very nice. Let's go to the next one.
All right.
Well, you're in the Monarch Club. You're also in the K&T Club. So what you got here?
This is a 1946 Kearney and Trucker Model 2K. That's their heavy duty series of lathe, or mills.
Mills, yeah. And you've got the universal head, the one that spins around every which direction.
Oh yes.
The one you want. That's nice. You even got the drive gear that always is missing.
It's 100% functional. It's a horizontal mill with the vertical. It's a universal table, so so it rotates.
It rotates. You can do spiral milling.
Spiral milling, gears, etc.
Cool.
And the vertical head is just what a feature having that. It's the high-speed head too, so it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. It's actually, I believe, top speed on the mills 1,500 RPMs. Top speed with the head is 2,850 RPMs.
Wow. And one thing I like about this, this I got a 2H, and it's a smaller mill, and it's not quite as heavy duty as the K series. But one of the things that I really like is you actually have the controls over here on the side.
Yeah, that's the big feature. Besides the extra speeds and feeds on the Model K, is having side control. So when you're working behind, trying to get things aligned and lined up, it sure is nice having the controls over here.
Exactly. And when you're doing horizontal milling in particular, you're usually over here on this side kind of working.
Yes, working on the back side of a part.
You can crank things around. You can raise and lower your table, I guess, engage, disengage feeds, everything right on this side.
Everything's right here. Your X-axis is right here.
Yeah.
And Z and Y are right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Really nice, and it looks like it's got the original paint even on it. This machine's in nice shape, really nice shape. This one's to be proud of. This is cool.
Oh, it sure is. I love it.
Cool.
It's going nowhere.
Have you got the dividing head for it, or?
I do not, but I actually have a line right now on one. I'm actually in the
Model K dividing head.
I'm on the Model K dividing head, as well as, with your fingers crossed, I found a lead, a really good one. For the
lead, for doing spiral milling.
Set up for spiral milling.
Cool.
So within maybe a month or two, I might have both of those here.
Awesome.
So we'll see how it goes.
Good. And you got a nice selection of tooling for it over here as well.
Yeah. So far, pretty much just been adding things as I need them. Don't have a real huge collection of cutters. Got a big box of arbors and cutters over there. But so far it's pretty much get what you need to do the job at hand and add as you go.
Awesome. So one of the challenges that us metal workers and woodworkers always have in home shop situations is three-phase conversion.
Yes.
And we've been a lot of talk about that. And I know a lot of guys overseas don't understand this because they have three-phase coming right into their homes. That's not the way it is here in the U.S., unfortunately. So we have to kind of make three-phase in some places. And I see you got what is this down here, a nice American Rotary?
Yeah, this is an American Rotary 20 horsepower phase converter.
Cool. And, I've got one. Mine is actually an outdoor model. I guess this is one more indoor, so it doesn't have the watertight enclosures and everything on there.
This was designed to be kept inside the shop.
But this is perfect. Turn it on. Is it plugged up?
Yeah.
People complain about how noisy phase converters are.
They're not noisy. You don't even hear it.
This thing is not bad at all. Not bad at all. And this is actually your second American Rotary, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Actually, my third, but the second one that I have presently right now.
And why have you been on 3 of them?
Well, I had one running a different machine in a different spot, so I had to have just a phase converter for it because I've got that other building down by the garage there. And I'm getting ready to build another shop down there. So this one is actually going to stay up here, and then that one over there is going to end up moving down to the other shop.
And that's a 10 horse you got over there?
That's a 10 horse.
Okay.
And that'll start pretty much every single woodworking shop in here with the exception of the Monster Planer.
Sure. So, American Rotary, they are a sponsor of my channel, but I think it's kind of interesting that this is, I think, the 4th shop tour that I've done, a video that I've done. It may not be in that order that you guys see them, but this is the 4th one I've done in the last week or two. One of the shops had 3-phase coming into it, and everybody else had American Rotary phase converters, and these guys do a good job. So, and if you're interested in an American Rotary phase converter, you can use my checkout code when you check out, Vintage10, and it gives you a 10% discount on these. So if you call them up or go on their website, just tell them Vintage10 is their checkout code, and you can get a discount if you go buy one. Go check out American Rotary. So we're changing gears a little bit and getting into the woodworking side of it, and I guess anybody that's going to be in woodworking, there's a couple of things you got to have, but a table saw is really, in my opinion, probably the foundation of a good woodworking shop. And you got a nice little saw here, so tell them about this.
This is a 1985 Powermatic 66. It's a saw that I purchased and was not functioning at the time, and I did a complete tear down and restoration of it. And now it runs great. It's got new bearings, everything on both the motor and the arbor. And this is pretty much, my daily user. I do a lot of work on this saw here. I put the long 52-inch Biesemeyer fence on there for the purpose of being able to cut up cabinet goods, as well as getting in tight for joinery work and hardwood work.
So when you talk about essential machines for the woodworking shop, at least in my opinion, and this is not what a lot of people would say, but I would say that the joiner behind a table saw is probably my number 2 machine.
For sure. This is where it all starts. You know, I work with rough sawn lumber that I saw myself on the sawmill outside, and you can't get anything done correctly if the board isn't flat and straight. And this is where it all starts.
Absolutely. I think this is one of the most critical machines in a woodworking shop. And yeah, this one here is how wide?
This is a 16-inch knife cutter head.
Okay.
So it's got a 16-inch capacity for the width of the boards for flattening.
Right, and that's the other thing about a joiner is most people think of a joiner for just getting a board square, and you can use a 6 or 8 inch joiner or even a 4-inch joiner for that. But when you want to do face planing, having a nice wide joiner is really a nice feature to have, and to get a board flat on both sides, or to get a board, people think, well, just run it through the planer. Well, planer doesn't flatten a board, it
Sure doesn't.
thicknesses a board.
It's a thicknesser.
It's a thicknesser.
It's not a flattener.
You got to start with a flat side, and you can use your joiner for that. So this is really a nice machine. So how long have you had this?
I think I've had this about 3 years, 2.5 years now. Full restoration project. It was an absolute train wreck sitting in a barn for a very long time in Philadelphia. I drove 800 miles each way to pick it up. And it was a basket case. I had to have the tables reground because the pitting on it was severe.
Right.
And but my grinding service did a fabulous job. The tables are flat and coplanar, and it turned out real nice. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it turned out really nice in the end. It works great.
This is a nice size. I've got a 16-inch joiner, and I guess you always want one just a little bit bigger.
Oh sure.
But
6-inchitis.
yeah, but really a 16-inch joiner, there's not a lot that you can't do on a 16-inch joiner. This is a nice size machine to have, and beautiful restoration.
Thank you. Okay.
So what you got here?
This is a 1927 Oliver 91D mortiser. It's a very nice machine, runs great, and does its job.
So mortiser, that's for cutting a square hole.
Yep, mortise and tenon.
The mortise and tenon joint.
Chairs and tables and legs and just about, you know, any 2 pieces of wood you want to join.
Cool, and this is a hollow chisel one, so they also made a chain mortiser, which is a little bit different, but for woodworking, furniture making, I prefer this over the chain type.
Yeah, me too. Me too. If you're doing timber framing and big timber work, then chain mortiser is the way to go. But
doing window work, chain mortiser's nice, you know, making window sash or what have you. What about the drill press?
That's a Craftsman, 1967, little 150. It's one of the drill presses that I use when I'm just doing light drilling work.
Cool, nice. All right, more toys here. What we got?
This is a State oscillating spindle sander.
So explain what that is, because some guys probably aren't familiar with this tool.
Sure. What an oscillating spindle sander does is it spins and also goes up and down, like so. So if you're doing curved work and you want to do a nice sanded finish on an edge that's got a lot of curves in it, you know, if you're not using a hand tool like a spoke shave and you're doing a lot of work, this is a great way to go because it really leaves a good finish on the edge of the curved work.
Yeah, so you can like cut it out with a jigsaw or a bandsaw or whatever and just come right in here and clean those curves up really nice.
Yep.
Behind you?
Right behind me is Oliver 159A Pattern Maker's lathe. Recent acquisition. This is in the queue for getting a full restore. It works good, but I'm going to definitely give it a restoration like the table saw and the joiner.
So Pattern Maker's lathe, this is a wood lathe. This is not a metal lathe. It kind of looks a lot like a metal lathe in that you got to cross slide and everything, but this is actually for doing woodworking, and pattern making work was a very specialized form of woodworking, and where you're making the patterns for cast iron foundry work, and it really had to be a little bit more precision than what you could probably do with just hand tools. So it really kind of works like a metal lathe, but it doesn't have the automatic feeds, it doesn't have threading and that kind of stuff on it, but it does have a cross slide. Cool machine.
Yeah, I purchased it from a pattern maker shop who was the original owner, bought it originally new.
And what year?
I haven't dated it yet. I just got to look up the serial number, so I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, good deal. All right, what about behind you? I see some more stuff back here.
Yeah, that's, I got my blast cabinet back there for helping out with a lot of rust removal. When you're working with these older machines, sometimes you're doing restorations, there's plenty of rust to remove. And then I've got kind of like Drill Press Central over here. I like to have batches set up with so I can get my work done quickly. So one drill press has got one setting, the other drill press has got another one, and then I've got the Walker Turner there, the radial arm drill press. You know what that does?
Yeah.
It moves all over the place and has a real good range of motion for
Absolutely.
drilling holes in strange places all over a board.
Very good. All right. Fairly new acquisition?
Yeah, very recent. This is actually tied for the most recent acquisition in the shop with the other Baxter Whitney machine. And this is a quest machine of mine. I've been looking for one of these for a very long time, and you can probably tell by the smile on my face, I'm very, very happy to have it. It's a Whitney number 77, and honestly, what I consider to be one of the finest table saws ever made.
Yeah. Yeah, really heavy duty, nice machine. Got all the features that you really want in a table saw. It's a pretty old machine, but yet modern enough that it does everything you want to do.
Don't be fooled by the age. This is a workhorse.
This is a workhorse. What size motor does it have in it?
It's got a 4 horsepower motor, which, you know, kind of the way they used to rate those motors back then.
Yeah, it's got a lot of torque.
This has got more torque than some 10 horsepower motors that I run on other saws.
Absolutely. Very nice. Can't wait to see this one restored.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the first ones I get started on this winter when I get some free time.
Cool. All right, I like this wheel arrangement you have on this bandsaw.
Yep, that's a definite restoration project for sure. I got the table that's leaning over there against the wall.
Yeah.
Got it out of the way for this weekend's party, so I had to move a few machines around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an early 1900s Chicago machinery 28-inch bandsaw. It's got a really, really, really nice 13.5 to 14-inch resaw capacity.
Okay.
And it's another restoration project. There's the tires that we're going to be putting on it, but should be a really good working saw for the shop and a definite upgrade from the 14-inch bandsaw that I've been using.
Absolutely. And right here?
This is another very, very well-loved machine. It's a Porter 105. It's a single spindle shaper.
Okay, and
Wood
the
shaper.
spindle shaper does?
It shapes wood, tables, table edges, any kind of profile you want to put on the edge or the middle of a piece of wood.
So it's kind of like a router on steroids. So you can put a
horsepower motor,
big cutter on here, and you can really do some heavy duty molding
You
work.
can do some raised panel work. You can make doors and windows with it. Whatever, pretty much whatever you can imagine. You can also use it as with a bearing, as a flat pattern maker follower.
Yep.
For tracing out patterns and stuff.
Cool. So this is also a fairly new acquisition here.
Yes, another Baxter Whitney number 32, 30-inch planer, the companion to the second operation to the joiner over there.
Absolutely, and this is a 30-inch planer. That's pretty massive.
Yeah, it's a beast.
So yeah, this came from locally, or?
Yeah, this came out of Schmaling Lumberyard in Rockford, Illinois.
Yeah.
And they owned it for a very, very, very long time. He was sad to see it go, but unfortunately had to move it on due to insurance regulations.
Yeah, a lot of these more older machines, they don't have the guards and stuff, whatever. But
Well, here I'm the only guy working here, so I'm happy to have it.
but dadgummit, they're awesome machines. And look back here behind them, guys.
Sorry, let me get out of the way.
Look at this. That's the motor for this thing.
Massive, 15 horsepower.
15. That's an old 15. And you look at that 15 horsepower. That motor right there. I mean, there's no telling how much torque that compares to a more modern motor. That thing is massive.
This planer is a wood muncher.
It'd probably throw chips 100 yards. I'd like to see that run. That's cool. That's really cool.
It actually does run. It was in working, using condition when it came out of service. So
awesome.
it's not going to take much work to get it back in service.
Very cool. And you got the knife grinders and everything to go with this?
Underneath over on the shelf there, came with the knife grinder and the full setup. I've got the dust collection shroud, the whole shebang.
Very nice.
Brand new set of knives too.
Cool. You're well set.
We're ready to go. I just got to get the time to put her back together and get her running.
Cool. So you saw the daddy planer. Here's the baby planer, which most people would say this is a huge planer, but next to the Baxter Whitney, this one is kind of tiny. So what is this?
This is a 1950s Yates American J180, a very, very nice, capable planer.
Absolutely.
18-inch wide boards. Like you said, though, compared to this monster over here, it's getting replaced.
Yeah. And it's a shame because these Yates American, these J-Series Yates American machines, in my opinion, these are some of the most beautiful machines. There was a whole line of these machines that were very styled, had that 50s looking style,
Yep.
kind of like the Cadillac with the wings on them, whatever, you know.
You got chrome and,
Yeah, you got chrome and really
handles.
nice. I mean, these are beautiful, beautiful machines. And they had a whole series of these machines. They all kind of match one another. And this is an awesome planer, but compared to the Big Daddy over there, yeah, I can understand. It's got to find a new home.
Yep, it will. Pass it along to somebody.
Yeah, and someone will really like this. And you got a couple other little restoration projects back here behind me, I guess.
Yeah, the Delta is actually the saw I'm using right now. That's not a restoration project, but I picked up this Bridgeport mill from the same company that I purchased the Oliver lathe from. And as you can see, it's pretty much getting torn down. I got the head all torn apart. It's going to be a full restoration. And when it's done, it'll be a nice addition to the metalworking part of the shop, and quite even possibly occasionally some woodworking with a different head on the back end of the
Cool.
other turret.
Yeah, very good. All right. So I think I'm actually up here for the Arnfest event, and I think this is the 13th year that we've had Arnfest. And I don't know, you weren't at the first few that at least that I saw, but how many years have you been doing the Arnfest?
Since 2010.
Okay, so for about last 6 years, and I came over here probably, I guess, the first year that you came. You had a little party over here at your shop, and I've really gotten to see the shop transition. And one of the things that is really cool is, and really you just finished this, is you got this nice tongue and groove wall back here.
Yeah, I built the shop in a big hurry to get a good place to work when I bought the place, and for 15 years it sat in insulation.
Right.
And just recently, finally put up the tongue and groove paneling on the walls, and I can't tell you how happy I am. It really looks great.
It's beautiful.
Still got a little bit of finishing work to do around the windows and doors and around the support beams. So, but it's definitely taken place, and I'm very happy to finally get around to it.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And I know you were telling me you're going to try to do some tool storage and stuff back here.
Yeah.
What's your plans?
I'm a hand tool guy. I do a lot of hand work. I got my saws up here behind me, and I'm going to be building this winter. I'm going to be focusing on building a tool storage rack to put all my tools all in real arm's reach right behind me here for my work. And it'll give me the ability to probably empty out 3 different toolboxes stuffed with hand tools. Get them on an open space where I can have easy access to them. And it's going to, of course, be built in a style that makes me feel proud to show it. So it's going to be a real nice toolbox hanging on the wall.
There's just something that makes you more creative, makes you want to come into the shop when you have nice wood walls and you have a nice rebuilt tool cabinet, whether it's woodworking, metalworking, or whatever. When you're in a nice environment,
absolutely,
you just, and that's one of the reasons, I'm building a shop right now, and that's a big importance to me. Absolutely. Is I want my shop to be someplace nice that you want to go to.
And you love being in here.
You love being in there. And
I come up here early in the morning, especially on those cold winter days that you boys down in the south are not
that we don't get.
I get the stove fired up and get this place warmed up, and it's such a nice feeling to be in a comfortable, warm, cozy space, and you look around and you're surrounded by beautiful wood, which is what I love. So.
Yeah, me too. So, and I'm doing tongue and groove right now on my ceiling, and in fact, you were commenting you may copy me.
Oh,
huh?
not me. I'm pretty sure it's going to be an absolute plagiaristic copycat. I love what you're doing to your ceiling.
Well, I'm anxious to see what you're going to do back here, because there may be some other copycatting, because I got the same thing. I got a nice workbench, and I've been dreaming for years of having some nice tool storage for my hand tools in my wood shop, which I know you guys on YouTube haven't really seen me do a lot of my woodworking, because I've been kind of on a woodworking hiatus for the last 6 years, waiting to get my shop built.
Well, you've been teaching me all that metalworking stuff, so that's good. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, but I'm going to be watching what you do, and you may see some more copycatting going on.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, Jeff, it's great seeing you, man.
Great having you.
Appreciate your hospitality, and I hope you guys are enjoying getting to see some of these other people's shops, and we're going to try to do some more of these down the road, and just let you see people's different shops all around the country or whatever. When I'm traveling or on the road and have an opportunity to do something like this, we'll try to get some of these to you.
I'll certainly be looking forward to it.
Great. Thanks, Jeff.
You bet.